You are live.
Good morning.
Don't forget your microphone.
It's on.
All right.
Good morning. So today is our basic open question and answer. Ask anything. Dharma related. Or cooking. Kundo zongo gombo ye. Dorji sempagarab dorji dang. Shire singabadu shinlab de dang mabzang tata tusum chi. Zog chen jupe lama la solua deb. Again pema junila solua deb. Dorji chang chi tilo narudang. Marpa mila gompo tatapa. Na pupadang palden drupa sok. Kargyu lama namla solua deb. O chen lama namla solua deb. Drud chen lama namla solua deb. Prachen lama namla solua deb. Shakchen lama namla solua deb. Yung drung dang yendu lama namla solua deb. Pa kondu jong dang yerme pa. Gun garab dorji jin trag pa. Jetidang nisume pai. Pa lamanam che tente. Chong. So, what do we have in the way of questions?
Not much yet, but here's a good one. Can you please clarify what is inner body roushen and outer body roushen?
Inner body roushen, because it's not as separate as you think it is, with glitches caught in your chakras. Here, 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 at the navel, the secret chakra, and in the soles of your feet, which is equivalent to the ones in the palms of your hands. Certain seed syllables are similar in shape to the samsaric twists that those wheels get themselves into as a result of past deeds. As the chi flows through your channels, as it encounters these twists and tangles, it squeaks. You interpret that sensation, I call it, periodically, as you run chi through those channels. Feelings of fear, feelings of anger, of anxiety, feelings of self-anger, self-loathing, feelings of comparativeness, of jealousy, of comparing yourself to others, and of always striving to be better than him. Feelings of lust and feelings of loneliness. Feelings of depression and can't be bothered. Feelings of being overwhelmed by your own thoughts. Feelings of desire for food, junk food, mac and cheese. We're having that one today. It's cold and rainy.
And we are also occasionally having internet hiccups.
And the internet is being funky in the weather. Feelings of wanting more of this and that. Booze, dope, chocolate, furniture, stuff. Really, we've all got enough stuff. And yet Christmas is coming. And as we shop for others, we all want more stuff. Oh, I want this one. I want that one. And we end up also shopping for ourselves inevitably. So all of these categories of feelings get stuck in these particular chakras. Different ones get stuck in different chakras. When you die, because you don't have, after you've done with the body, after your elements have absorbed into each other and the body is no longer manifesting your vitality, that vitality doesn't go away, but it is not grounded by a nervous system. It is a lot more changeable quickly and flexible quickly. The chi still runs in the channels after a fashion, but the pattern of the channels is not fixed by a meat body to hold them. So the bardo of becoming to the predominant glitch in the channels that was active at that time, where the squeaking was happening mostly. That can be a serious oops if it was fear and anger. You end up reincarnating in a specific form and situation where you have many opportunities to experience anxiety and resentment. This is the inner body roushen, using mantra and light, using visualization and symbols of the body, speech, and mind of all Buddhas. You gently and slowly unravel the glitches in the chakras over a number of months, depending on how fast you go. This is the inner body roushen. It's inside. The outer body roushen is a secret practice that I cannot tell you very much about unless you are undertaking it. And it's accident prone enough that I do not teach it online. I want to keep an eye on you while you practice it, at least for the first 11 days, during which it will work to some extent, probably. For some people, fully. The outer body roushen, there's a place we get stuck. The line between doing and not doing is subtle and sticky. We get stuck on it. The true Trekchöd is not done by any one. True enlightenment is not attained by any one. So to enter into the not doing of non-attainment that permits this to arise, that's hard. Try doing, not doing. We all do. I'm going to sit down and not do anything. So there's a refraining from doing something. That refraining is a doing. You're doing. See how subtle that is. So the outer body roushen is a series of practices and methods, generally done in a small group, small enough that I can keep an eye on. Maybe up to 25 people. In a place that is very private. Because, boy, some of it's going to look really strange if a bypasser sees it. Police have been called on people doing this retreat when it was not done in a private enough place because their actions alarmed a bypasser. Also, the land spirits are very involved in this one since it is very loud on a psychic level. So there are a number of things that I need to keep an eye on when you do it. We were supposed to do it last summer in Poland. I've done it once in the jungles of Brazil and once far north in Canada up by the tundra, where there were in both of those places private enough situations to pull this off. And we were scheduled, having found a place in Poland, to do it this summer, and then COVID. So it is on the list. It will be rescheduled as soon as travel is safe. You can sign up for it. You can contact Jan. But this is an advanced practice for advanced practitioners. This is not for newbies. You need a couple of years of good attempts at Trekchöd, or to be at least noticing Rochik and Mahamudra. Before this is useful to you, and since my number of people is limited, I'm just taking the ones who can make use of it. I believe Jan has the list for this. We have a couple of retreats planned for when travel is possible again. A couple of things that I just don't feel comfortable with the amount of accident proneness in that particular retreat, doing it online. And I do a lot of mildly accident prone things online. But the roushen of the outer body, nope. We need to do that in person. And the roushen of the 4 elements also needs to be done in person. Inner body roushen I teach online. But because your emotions get stronger for many people, not everyone, while doing it, you need to already, for the inner body roushen, have done a good bit of the Chenrezig practice and the working with emotions retreat, which I do periodically online. You have to have actually done those. The Chenrezig practice you can download off the website and just start working with if you're interested in this. And you can sign up for the next Working with Emotions retreat. We've always got an ongoing sign-up list on the website. And when it fills up to about 50 people, which is as many as I can take in a Zoom retreat comfortably, and still give you all a bit of individual attention and work with where you get stuck, then we'll simply do it again. Right now I'm teaching 3 levels, or 2 levels, because I can't travel for the 3rd level, which is only in person. I'm teaching like this, open, on Facebook and YouTube. And for things that are just a little bit dicier, little bit more accident prone than the stuff I teach openly, I'm teaching in private Zoom classes that you sign up for on the website. Now, I don't charge for any of this. It's not the custom of my lineage to sell the Dharma in the marketplace. It's all by Dana. PayPal button on the website. Feel most comfortable to use it if you've enjoyed a teaching, either an open one or a Zoom retreat. But if you're in Argentina where you can't use it, take the money you would have offered and go find someone, a woman with children who is hungry, and give them that money to buy food. You see, there's not as much difference between us as you think there is. That's me. We're all in this together. Next question.
During COVID, we haven't been able to visit the local Lama. Is it okay to take refuge by oneself? And should we wait until refuge is taken to start practicing Dzogchen and other things?
Go ahead and start practicing. These are unusual times. You can take refuge online, but don't wait for that opportunity. I'm not the only Lama that offers refuge periodically online. I did one recently. We've probably got another one scheduled. There's a sign up on the website. When it fills up, I simply schedule it again. Or actually, Jan, who helps me with the scheduling, schedules it again, because I double book myself and get all tangled up in that. Not a Virgo. You see the wonderful organization among my books. Where they fit is my organization method. And then I just hunt through them when I'm looking for something. So, Jan she says she's a recovering Virgo, but she actually has the attention to detail, as does Tasha, who also helps with the website in this, to keep me from entangling myself in trying to be in two places at once, which is not something you can do on purpose. You can do that, but it's a not doing. You can't do it on purpose. It is caused by circumstances. You want a story? One time Rinpoche and I were in two places at once, although we were not aware of it while we were in those places. We became aware of it afterwards when we noticed double memory. So, in the morning, one memory, it was raining. One memory, Rinpoche and I decided not to go to town that day to look for cement because it was raining, and if we had to haul cement back in a truck, it would get wet. Other memory, Rinpoche and I decided to go to buy cement. We were building, what the heck were we building back then? Oh, the monastery for Zigor Rinpoche. We were still working on that. So this is way back. So in the memory that we went to get cement, we went to Mandy and we hassled all day with this paper and that, it was rationed, this permission and the paper and the signature over here and the money over here, and then the guy who has the cement, and is it real cement or fake cement, and check the cement. And so we spent the whole damn day doing that. We got back to town. We picked up a few veggies while we were running about Mandy. We got back to Sopema. Rinpoche said he was going to go over to the monastery and discuss the delivery of the cement and some stuff with people there. And I decided to go on up to my cave, which there's really only one path up there. And it's about at that age 4B, it was about an hour's walk. being somewhat lazy and liking to take breaks and carrying a lot of stuff in the way of vegetables. So about 45 minutes into my walk, I got to the spring. There's a spring about 3/4 of the way up, near where the road is now, but there weren't no road there then. And I stopped at the spring to have a drink and a rest. And there was a couple of Westerners coming down the mountain. And they also stopped at the spring for a drink and a rest. And they said, "Lena, how did you get ahead of us?" And I said, "Oh, what do you mean?" They said, "Well, we just got this wonderful teaching you just translated for us with Rinpoche. This amazing teaching in his cave. You know, we've been with him all day. We had lunch together. We left you in with Rinpoche in his cave. And we came down, and here we find you at the spring. How did you get ahead of us on the track?" So I said, "Oh, I don't know. Just happened." Because I wasn't sure what was going on, because as they told me about it, I remembered having lunch with Rinpoche all day and translating for these Ingis, Westerners. But I also remembered going to Mandy early morning with Rinpoche and buying cement and leaving him at the monastery. So I walked on up the mountain, but instead of going over to my cave, I went to Rinpoche's cave, found him there. Only one way up the mountain. He didn't pass me. I said, "Rinpoche, how did you get ahead of me? Weren't we in Mandy today? Didn't we acquire cement?" He's like, "Yeah." "Didn't we have lunch here and I translate a teaching to some Westerners?" "Yeah, that happened too." And we both sat and looked at each other for a few minutes and then started laughing. It does happen, but you can't do it on purpose. It's like walking through a rock or walking on the surface of the lake, moving something by telepathy. All of this stuff happens all the time. But you have to be in a state of rochik for that to happen. And in rochik, there is no one to do a doing. This kind of thing is not unusual among the yogis. We don't talk about it much because it's not something you can do on purpose, so you don't dwell on it until the level of full rainbow body, in which there is no one on purpose, comes after rochik, one taste. It just sort of happens sometimes. This is why we say a yogi is strongly advised, should he find himself one day able to fly, comes and goes, ordinary cities, impermanent. They begin at a certain point in time and they end at a certain point in time, rather than a change of what I'm calling perception, because I don't have a better word, but it's not exactly that. A change of your point of attention, in which it always has been happening. You just couldn't notice it because your point of attention was not there. It was on a fixed belief system of what is real and what is not. Next question.
Oh my, there's quite a few. As a Buddhist, is it inadvisable to associate with those who sacrifice animals as part of their religious practice?
As a Buddhist, no. You can associate with them. What you cannot do is encourage or participate in those sacrifices. But you can have a friend who's Yoruba. You just don't help pay for the goat. If you are practicing Tantra, you do not, or you are advised not to live with such folk for more than 3 days at a time. So you stop in a hotel and they're also in the hotel and you're there for less than 3 days, no biggie. But you don't move in with them on a long-term basis. It will, to some extent, interfere with Tantric practice. The way it's phrased in the Tantric precept is not to or support emotionally or physically. I can't remember the exact words, so I'm telling you the meaning. Those who are committing strongly negative actions. Some people interpret this in a more fixed and solid way, where it's sometimes worded this way. In the Galupa line, I received it this way: not to live more than 3 days at a time with a non-tantric practitioner. That was the strongest way I've ever heard it. Precludes Dzogchen practitioners too. As that was taught to me then. However, there's a whole range of interpretations of the Tantric precepts. If you are practicing Tantra and have had a Wong, you have received the Samaya, the Domsig of the Tantric precepts. If they have not been emphasized to you, don't worry about it. You're not breaking them if you have not gone into the studies. But if you're really focused on Yidam practice, you should find out about them. Receive a clear teaching on the Tantric precepts. Again, it's one I do occasionally when the request fills up. Nyando, would you make a note on Slack that there should be sign-up lists going on for Tantric precepts,
Okay.
inner body roushen, another working with emotions, and a refuge. That these should be on the website and that we will schedule them when they fill up, when the list fills up to at least 50 people.
What was the one after working with emotions?
Refuge.
Refuge, yes.
Usually they cycle in every couple of months, these, as new people turn up, or some people didn't get in and ended up on the waiting list, so they're first in next time. Provided they go put themselves on the sign-up list and check on this, because it is, even my Virgos have distractions.
Mm-hmm.
So those should be up on the website for people to fill out a form and get on the list. And then when the list is got enough people on it to do the retreat, it gets scheduled Once it's scheduled, and keep an eye on the schedule to see when it's on. Make sure you're on that. If it's not a day that you can come, send a declination, please. I hate it when I have 50 people signed up and 25 turn up and 1 declines. I could have let the waiting list in. There's people that really wanted this teachings if you told us you couldn't make it. So please, if you're signed up for a Zoom course and you can't make it, let us know as early as possible so someone else who really wants to be there can do it. We keep your place if you're not going to use it. Let somebody else have it. Don't hoard. Next question.
What is the difference between heart guru and teachers who give you specific teachings?
Your heart guru is someone who knows you, who you know, who ongoingly helps you with your practice, clarifies things for you, encourages you. Your root guru is whoever showed you the nature of your own mind in such a way that you saw it for the first time. And the rest of your teachers are honored teachers because you received something from them. Someone who doesn't remember you. You met them once. You got a Wong online from them. But you don't really know them personally. They don't really...
Yeah, it killed the video.
Everything. We'll just do that, yes?
Yes.
It'll be okay.
Now, their YouTube is still going. Facebook's dead in the water.
See if it comes back in a minute. And type in, we're having technical glitches, back in a minute. How's it looking?
I am almost ready to throw all the gear out into the street. So, YouTube is still working. So we'll go with it, and what I'm going to attempt to do is restart Facebook as a separate stream.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, Lama Lena Live.
So apparently we're still live on YouTube.
Yes.
And those of you who are on Facebook, we're trying to initiate, although you're not going to hear me say that. I will keep going on YouTube then.
Yeah. Keep going. We have plenty of questions.
Give me a question.
Okay. So while we work with this, I have to find my microphone. Okay. One person did ask if you could give out pointing out instructions today.
What's their name? Do they have a name? It doesn't give.
It won't
Okay,
give
I
me
suspect
it right
it's
now.
the person who can't join us on Saturdays.
Yeah.
Sure. Right now, whatever you're thinking has your attention, as well as what you're feeling and what you're perceiving a little bit. This video. Your attention is point focused on phenomena, on your thoughts and your feelings, inner phenomena, and the stuff around you that you're paying attention to, such as this video, outer phenomena. You live like that, in point focus on phenomena. We're going to see if we can change that for a moment. There are the teachings of the body, of the speech, and of the mind. Did Facebook come back on?
Yes.
Facebook folks were in the process of the pointing out instructions.
Right. It'll be a different URL. We'll work with it.
Okay, let's make sure people know that.
Yes, I'll do what I can here.
The teaching of the body is to align your channels. Sit in either a proper full lotus, double chin, relax your muscles. Relax the muscles that control the lens of your eyeball. For example, when you look at something, look at me. Your lens of your eyeball is being controlled to focus your eyes on me. I bet you can't look over to your left without paying attention to what's to your left, without noticing it. Your attention follows the gaze of your eyes. So what you want to do is release the point focus of your eyeballs. Let your eyes completely relax, half open. Your tongue lies naturally on the roof of your mouth. Your lips are slightly open, not much. Your teeth are not closed. Let your eyeballs aim wherever they fall naturally. But do not look there. Open your attention up. Open your eyeball focus up so that your peripheral vision is as clear as the central vision. Do not be looking at a thing. Sometimes in Tibetans, they say focus your gaze about 2 meters in front of yourself in the empty space there. It's another way of saying this. The pointing out. The teachings of the speech are much simpler. Simply shut up. Stop talking to yourself and describing everything you're doing. Stop verbalizing inside yourself your thoughts. Relax, let go. Do not force yourself to stop thinking. Stop paying attention to what you're thinking. And allow your attention to naturally, relaxedly expand into where your thoughts are occurring. This is the teaching of the mind, of how to not place your attention on this and that, the moving phenomena, but to allow it to open up. Vast expanse. Longjin Rabjam. No thing, no doing, no focus, no grasp. Infinite open awareness. Dharmakaya nature of mind. Chupu. But not just a big dead old nothing, not just an empty void. It's awake, it's aware, it's lucid and capable of thought, feeling, and perception, even though it is not focused on those things at this time. We call that innate lucidity of open awareness. It's clear light nature, transparent light nature. Sambhogakaya nature of mind, Longku. And the thoughts themselves, with their commensurate feelings and perceptions which inspire them, arise in this infinite vast expanse and dissolve in their moment of arising, having neither substance nor duration. Leave them be. Do not follow your thoughts or suppress them. Do not indulge your feelings or suppress them. Do not focus your attention on phenomena, but relax it into the vast openness of mind itself. There where the thoughts be happening, not the idea of this, but the infinite open awareness of the ground of mind. This indescribable vastness in all its lucid luminosity, sparkling with phenomena. This is who you really are. This is the totality of yourself and all life. We call it Tawa. To meditate is simply to follow the instructions of body, speech, and mind, and return to this relaxation again and again, resting there for as long as is natural. this specific meditation we call relax and relax again. Release, let go of your point focus. Leave it be as it is. It's returning to point focus that requires effort, not the remaining in open awareness. Because that effort is habitual. You will, in the beginning, find it difficult to remain in relaxation very long. But with practice, it gets easier until you need to produce or perform effort to locate yourself in phenomena as an entity. That doing becomes effortful, and the relaxation is just that. The natural state, the default setting. This comes to pass through practice. I had made, and have many, but I haven't seen anyone to give them away, little of those blue plastic wristbands with sayings on them that says in Tibetan, relax, let go, leave be. Shoulders, lesho. There is a person in the Bay Area who would like to pick them up from my porch and send them out to those who have received pointing out instructions from me. I'm willing to give them, but I don't have the time to do the postal. Contact me by email if you are Bay Area and interested in doing this for people. I'll give you a bunch of them. Oh, and you have to have a PayPal, because people will contact you with their address and PayPal you postage for someone else to receive one. And you'll send them one for free. You pay it ahead. You can't pay for your own. You have to pay for someone else's. So we'll see if anyone takes me up on that. I say Bay Area because that's where I am with them all. It's a matter of coming over, maybe having a glass of wine if the weather is good in the back garden and it's evening or afternoon, and taking a bunch home and dealing with the post. They can go in an envelope. They don't really need fancy packaging. Needs to be a Virgo. Anyway, there's your pointing out instructions. The bracelets are just useful to remember to relax there. Again and again. The instructions for Trekchöd from Garab Dorji's 3 words. At all times and on all occasions, notice the already noticed. Tawa, nature of mind. Next question.
Okay. A question to practice Mahamudra or Dzogchen well. Would you recommend any particular lifestyles that are more conducive?
Not generally. To each individual, there may be certain things that help them. But this is going to be so individual rather than to excess. Something we all struggle with during COVID. I would recommend simplifying your life as you can. I don't mean get rid of your wife and kids. I mean get rid of your tchotchkes so there's less to dust. If you are overwhelmed by too damn many tchotchkes. Tchotchke, it's a Yiddish word. It's a good word. We don't have an English word for that. I pick up words in all sorts of languages when they fit. Other than that, how to simplify your life in such a way that this works for you is going to be too individualistic. You have to look at your life and see where simplifying it would be useful. Don't get all play out of your life. Play is good. I play with food. I cook intricate meals from all over the world just for fun. I play with my clothes. I like getting a little bit dressed up, putting on jewelry, combing my hair. I play with the decor of my house. I put up Christmas decorations. Would you be willing to show them what I mean by that?
Okay. I'll just sort of...
Just pick it up and turn it a little bit and put it back over there.
Let's see if we can do
Aim
this.
up. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't have the gimbal.
that's okay. Just to give people an idea.
If I got it.
A little bit more. Turn it. No, just move it. Perfect. Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
For me, that's play. Play is a good thing. It helps you relax. I'm not telling you not to play with your toys. But excess, obsession with a particular toys, a particular video game, with watching porn, with getting stoned, all of these are counterproductive. Excess. Do you understand the fine line here? Pointing out instructions this time. I'm doing a retreat on it next weekend. There's probably still space to sign up. If you can't make it and you're signed up for that retreat, please send an email to Jan saying you can't make it. It's the inner mind roushen, which is like a practice, a nundro in Dzogchen, but it's not like the 500,000 and it's not like the Lam Rim. It's completely different, which helps one to relax enough for the pointing out instructions to go in. So be welcome there if what I just gave you was not quite sufficient. That will be on Zoom, so it's limited. Sign up soon if you're going to. And if you are signed up and aren't coming, Decline soon, please. Next question.
Okay, let's see what we have. We had a question earlier, and unfortunately, I had forgotten the wording for it. But it had to do with the situation if, say, you have a friend who is contemplating suicide, for example. What can a practitioner do over and above the normal, say, medical solutions or psychiatric solutions for such a situation?
Manis. At them, around them, and for them. Discreetly, if that's helpful. Also, the standard things like listening to them. And the medical things such as referring them, deciding whether they have a plan, in which case it might be time to actually call it in for a 5150. All of that, but listening to them, reassuring to them that you love them deeply, as you love all sentient beings. But you don't have to tell them that. You can make it personal. And saying manis, whether openly if they can accept that, or silently while with them. I'm going to do some. Even if done with the visualization, it's even stronger. Feel this. Did you feel that? It's very soothing. You can soothe yourself and others by this method. Next question.
I get so relaxed during meditation that my eyelids get heavy and I fall asleep or go half asleep. Any advice?
Yes, two things. One, check yourself for sleep apnea. Get yourself checked. It can be done at home. There's a box you wear at night. a little mask thing. They can check you for sleep apnea. Make sure you're actually getting enough good quality sleep. Fix that if that is the problem. If that is not the problem, what we used to do up in the caves, especially in summer where it would get hot, is we'd take a glass of water and a little bushy branch of, say, juniper, and we'd put the bit of juniper. Here, this is, oh, come here, bit of juniper. Tangle, tangle, tangle. You go back in. I need to change the water on those today. This is a bit of juniper. So you put it leaves down in a glass of water. And when you're dozing off, very refreshing. Lama taught me that trick. Rinpoche, Wangdo Rinpoche. Try that. Next question.
What should we do with the lucidity we experience in the dreamtime? Mostly, I tried to chant, etc., but most beings seem not to find this useful. What can we do that's productive or effective?
Whatever practice has your heart. Oh, and I forgot to say to the previous question, good coffee helps. But on this question, whatever practice has your heart, your yidam, not the chanting so much as the visualization, because then you get to dream that you are your yidam. And from that, you get to understand the laughter of the yidams. Ha ha, he he, ho ho. Or call the name of your teacher, or any teacher you have great faith in throughout time and space. Say their name out loud in the dream and you walk. You just walk forwards. Your feet will carry you to them, around a corner, around a bend, in the integrity of the dream. Go to certain places, such as Bodh Gaya, by visualizing it and walking. Guru Rinpoche. Go visit Mandareva in the forest. All of the great teachers of the lineage, whoever you, when you read about them, think to yourself, oh, I wish I had met that person. I wish I could receive teachings from Milarepa. Go there. Get them. These are the things you can do. Also, Trekchöd. If you already can do Trekchöd in the waking state and you do it in the dream state, it can complete itself there. And lead to some very powerful experiences, which will change you. They'll change your filament patterns. You can even go rainbow there, easier than here. Next question.
We had a question, let me find it. Okay. That had to do with activism. And how do we determine when to be involved with samsaric activism and when to just leave it be and look at one's mind?
You can do both simultaneously. You can choose that this demonstration is worth the risk of getting shot by the cops, of getting beat up by the MAGA supporters or catching COVID. And you can go while looking at your mind. It's not an either or. I am not against activism, but I can't tell you how to choose. Which activity to activate on, and which to not take action on. Although I did yell at you all to vote during the election, if you were in America. Take your stand where you feel you need to take your stand. But that's not instead of looking at your mind, that's while mind looking. You only need to sit up straight and stop talking to yourself in the beginning, first 5 to 10 years of practice. Then it gets easier. Next.
Okay, one moment. A question. Do you give teachings, empowerments, and sadhana on the medicine Buddha?
I don't have the text for that. Not the full text. I have bits. I don't know where Rinpoche put that text. Rinpoche didn't know where Rinpoche put that text when we went looking for it so that I could do that. So it's that I don't have the Wangpo text. And you will get a better Wang, better Tantric teachings, whose love is the ceremonial aspect of Wangs. And there are many out there doing that. Look online, who's giving that Wang? I will help you with the sadhana once you have it. Send it to me. I've had the Wang. I'm authorized to give it. I just don't have the proper text. And for Tantric Wangs, part of the Tantric vows we hold is not to give them without all the symbols, without setting up the altar, without doing all of that. I have done online a few Tantric ceremonies. Man, they're a lot of work. You're supposed to have a bunch of monks making the tormas for you. Cleaning the altar, setting it all up, doing the symbols, getting the right color ribbon. You're supposed to send them off on the pre-Wang treasure hunt. And it's just me and my consort. And I only have one consort at the moment, which is a sadness for both of us. We miss our other third. But life is impermanent, and people die. So, no, I don't have that. But if you get it, I will give you teachings on the sadhana once you've acquired the Wang and the Long and have the sadhana in hand that you want to do. I'm Dzogchen and Mahamudra, Dzogchen. These are my true love practices. Therefore, they're always going to be the ones I teach best. because you can feel my love for the practice. Next.
There was a dream yoga question. While practicing dream yoga, visualizing the red lotus and the ah at the throat, I feel some constriction at the throat. How can I address this?
During the day, sing. Happily, joyfully, sing. Don't sing so much to the point that you give yourself a sore throat. Don't shout it as loud as you can unless that's fun for you. But enjoy singing for a while. That may help with throat constriction. Not necessarily mantras. Folk songs, show tunes, off-key, in the shower, as you like. Next.
Is it common for manis to suddenly start having a miraculous effect after doing your extraordinary nundro?
It is not uncommon. Miracles are happening all the time around you. You explain them away very quickly. You just don't see them. I remember one time a student of Rinpoche's came and I was translating. And he asked Rinpoche, pretty please, for the sake of my practice, I just need to see a miracle. Just do one for me, pretty please. And he's going on like this, and I'm simultaneously translating what he says, word for word. And while he's doing it, Rinpoche puts his hand through the table, picks up his glass, takes a sip, puts it down, puts his hand back down through the table. He doesn't see it. He's continuing to explain and justify why he needs this for long enough that Rinpoche did it 3 times. After which Rinpoche said, when the guy finally ran down, I'm sorry. I can't show you a miracle. And then the guy said, oh, that's okay, Rinpoche. That doesn't change my faith in you if you can't do miracles. And Rinpoche went. He's very good at not giggling out loud when it might hurt someone's feelings. I'm not as skillful at that. They're happening all around you. You're just starting to notice because you finished your extraordinary nundro and you got enough of the gunk out of your channels that you're not quite as belief system reality focused as you were. Keep going, keep practicing. It gets better. Next question.
Can you help me understand stillness? Like something you mentioned on your talking on Mahamudra. How do movement and stillness merge?
You understand what stillness and movement is, yes? What they are when they're separate. Stillness, unlimited, without even a subtle concept of center and edge. Always there. Doesn't come and go. Does not exist inside an idea, a set of thoughts. inside that vast expanse. This is... Consider those thoughts, feelings, and perceptions. What are they made of? Look and see for yourself. The moving, all the moving, that which comes and goes, that which moves. What's it made of? Thoughts first, because thoughts are moving, they're always changing. Work with that. What moves? Next question.
The first time I saw Tawa was with a friend. I didn't know it was Tawa, but never forgot it. Is she my root guru?
Quite possibly. So you better not badmouth that friend. You don't have to do everything they say. Good Lord, don't do everything your teacher says. One time, Rinpoche and I, my root teacher, Wangda Rinpoche, we were standing on a roof. We were standing on the roof because we'd been up on the roof. He'd been teaching Togel to some people. And then that I'd been translating it, and then they left, and we were still standing on the roof. It had been the right place with the right light. Rinpoche looked at me, and he said, "What would you do if I asked you to jump off this roof?" And I thought about it for a minute, and I said, "Well, Rinpoche, you know, Tibetan is my second language. The first thing I would do is make sure that's actually what you said and I hadn't missed the grammar somewhere and misunderstood you." And he said, "And what would you do if I reassured you using many different words in such a way that it was clear to you that you hadn't misunderstood my request?" And I said, "Well, I would then check with you whether you were speaking theoretically or actually and in reality wanted me to jump off that roof. Whether that was actually what you wanted. I mean, I'd make damn sure that both I understood your words and that you actually wanted me in my body at this time to physically jump off the roof rather than analogistically wanted me within my mind to do the mental point of it. I'd really double check. Lots of "are you sures?" And he looked at me and said, "Okay, you're safe to teach." And I looked at him and said, "Had you actually wanted me to jump off this roof? Just checking." He said, "No, of course not. You'd hurt yourself." At that point, supper was ready and we went down to eat. Do be safe to teach. If a teacher asks you to do something that is problematic for you, discuss it with the teacher. Don't just try to force yourself to do it and then fuck up and get them passive aggressively or ghost them. Discuss. Ask. I get emails from a lot of students, and many of them have misunderstood an instruction. That I have given in a teaching or online, and I clarify it for them. Because they had the good sense to ask me about that because they were finding something difficult or it didn't make sense. That makes you safe to teach. If you're going to go do whatever the teacher says, and then maybe later resent it or have trips, you are not safe to teach. Next question.
I've had wonderful experiences and have had good, heartfelt feelings towards a couple of teachers. I've had them visit me.
Why would you have to commit to one? Monogamy is a choice, not an of course. Why commit to one teacher? Unless you want to, in which case it's going to be clear which one. Next question.
What is the function of a consort?
On a physical level, they look after you. Yes?
Yes. Whether you want it or not.
Whether you want it or not. They bug you when you're still up reading at midnight and have to teach the next morning. On an emotional level, you have their back and they have yours. And that's deep. On a deeper level, in Dharma, the dance of yin and yang is symbolized by all activities in the day between consorts. And on a secret level, the channels intertwine, merging. And so merging without deleting privacy. And so the energies of Bodhisattva and Sunyata can manifest freely. These are what consorts do for each other. And it doesn't have to be you have one consort. All my life I've had two consorts. Until about, 5 years ago when Joy died? Mm-hmm. So you could have 2 or 3 consorts. It's not limited by the American custom of singular marriage, which is not a Tibetan custom. The 3 of us got married when Pushe did the ceremony. It's perfectly acceptable among Tibetans. to have more than 2 people in a marriage.
Actually, traditionally, didn't you actually want to? Like, I think
Yeah.
the saying was marry a set of brothers, and you want one brother to be a farmer so everybody can eat. You want one brother to be a merchant so everybody has the things they need, and the last one should
a
be
monk.
a monk or a lama to pray for everybody.
Yeah, 3 husbands are good. And the more wives, the lighter the housework is for any single one of them, if you're doing that division of labor. Husband, wife is a... So... yeah, I think I answered that question. Next.
How do you have a structured practice and goal of enlightenment if the practice itself is a non-doing?
At the point of non-doing, your practice is not structured. It is at all times and on all occasions. Next. That was an easy one.
Okay, hang on a moment, because there are others. Can pretas take a living human body as a home and not want to leave it? Is chöd the best practice to address this?
That's not a preta, that's you. And yes, chöd is the best practice to address this. You are not possessed except by your own demons. Deal with it. Past karma coming up. There are Homo sapiens experiencing the preta realm or close to it around here. But that's not what you're asking me. You're asking me about possession. Yeah, it's possible. But that's not what's happening with you right now. And yes, chöd is your solution. Feed your own demons. They're not outside of you. Even in the case of a demonic possession, which does happen occasionally. Yeah, I got bit once. Ooh, doggies. Running around town thinking my umbrella was a sword and trying to slay monsters. For about 3 days before the local Tibetan doctor caught me and got it out. Yeah, it wasn't actually in me. I just got bit while trying to do an exorcism that I wasn't well enough trained for. I got yelled at by my teacher, Yeshi Dorji, for that one. She says, would you call me next time I'm a professional at this? Just, you idiot. That was way too big for you to deal with. Yeah. But what happened was I got bit, and it invoked resonating parts of myself which came up. That was me running about town, not it. Yeah, it's not exactly possession, it's more like getting bit and then being toxic for a while. Chöd works on it. There's this very special incense that you take off all your clothes and bathe in the smoke, which can also work on it. Original Dolma in the gold bag. Oh no, they changed the bags to green. Hard to get these days. It's Amalab Sang's recipe. Next question.
do we make sense of Ekadzati being queen of the Mamos and the Mamos causing the pandemic?
Well, you have an immune system, right? It protects you from death and destruction by killing off the bacteria from infections and viruses. Gaia, Earth, this planet who thinks she's a person just like you do, when she's in ecology just like you are with your biome, has an immune system. They're called mamos. Pollution and climate change got out of hand. The immune system was activated. Too damn many people. It will continue to be activated by thises and that's until such time as the ecological problems are solved. Just an immune system activated by the filth in the air, the ground, and the seas. Ecology is important. In you, your biome, and in Gaia's biome, all the living beings that walk, fly, swim, and be on this planet. And she thinks she's a person too. Just like you do. Next question. We got time for one or two more.
Okay. In my lucid dreams, I have tried meditation, but I wake up after a while. Why does that happen?
Lack of practice. Or rather, not yet enough practice. Extending the lucidity in a dream is something you practice. And it's a balancing. Because if you go up, I'm using up euphemistically, up in energy too far, you wake up. If you go down in energy too far, you lose lucidity. So learning to maintain that balance is like riding a bicycle. It takes a while before you can take the training wheels off. And you get good at it over time. That's all that's happening. Just keep going. Keep practicing it. A little bit lower in your meditation, more relaxation in your meditation. At which point you're going to lose lucidity eventually, and then you know that was too much, and then you're going to retune it up a bit. And so you're going to find that point in meditating in the dream time that neither breaks the dream into wakefulness or loses the lucidity into unconsciousness. Feel around for it while dreaming. Next question.
On a related question,
Yes.
I have found myself checking my mind in dreams as I have awake. However, my dreams are not lucid. Am I going in the right direction?
You are. Keep going. At some time, you will realize that you're dreaming in both circumstances. Keep going. Next.
Is there a time and place for the use of psychedelics in Dzogchen? We had a couple of questions about that.
For some people, yes. Not for everyone and not all the time. But for some people at some times, yes. It is not traditional, but under certain very specific circumstances, which would be very individual, it could be helpful. Mostly not. And without psychedelics, Dzogchen works just fine. But it can be helpful in certain unique circumstances. So I won't give you a carte blanche is or isn't on this one. Depends. And give me another one or two.
Okay. The Kali Yuga, can you explain how it influences our current situation, like with the pandemic?
It's a matter of compression of time and space experientially. Back before the agricultural revolution, time and space were experienced very, very differently in primitive hunter-gatherer societies. After the agricultural revolution, but before the industrial revolution, there were no hours or minutes, because there were no clocks. The cyclic nature of time and the seasons nonetheless became important and was focused on. This changed how time and space were perceived. With the Industrial Revolution, time became more exactly perceived and everything speeded up. It used to take a number of days to make a nice table. Now we can run them off the assembly line, many in a day. Everything perceptually got faster, and with faster travel got nearer. India, in time and space, used to be a good 6 months away from here, over land and over sea by sailing ship. And that's during the Industrial Revolution. Now, it's 3 days away. Near. I can go there every year, rather than taking a year to get there. So it's all speeding up. Now we have the information revolution. Third one, coming much faster after the Industrial Revolution compared to how fast the Industrial Revolution came after the Agricultural Revolution. And I don't remember fire, the beginning use of fire. I don't hold clear memories of that, although I do have of the other two. So now with the information revolution, all the information, all the ideas are available at your fingertips. At first, we just looked at pictures of cats and fought with strangers using it. Gone past that now. Between the algorithms it uses and the way the utilizers use it, we are, as a society, fragmenting according to belief systems. Because all the belief systems are out there, and you go with the ones that agree with you, that you like, And so everybody's going in such different ways. That will eventually resolve itself. Another 10, 20 years. But it's getting really fast. Everything is moving really fast. And near. And we affect India, and India affects us. Look, many of you are sponsoring some of the yogis, the yoginis, some of the children in school, kids of the yogis. That affects you, and you affect them. That interrelationship would not have been possible before money could be sent by Western Union online. That's new. That's the compression of distance and time. It gets faster and faster until it pops. And this is the Kali Yuga. It is experiential to living beings. It's not outside of you. Group karma, shared karma, but karma is not external. Give me one more question.
Okay. And that.
Pattern of Mani's Tonglen. Bodhicitta and Tawa creates a balance of Gewa. When Gewa goes out into the universe, it changes the balance of the environment to be more enjoyable for sentient beings. So by creating Gewa and spreading it out there by Monlam, wishing, wish path, you change the tone of all life, because life is not separate, interactive, interconnected. Look, you're not the same person you were when you were a kid, 14, a teenager, crazy teenager. I was a homicidal maniac at 14. Yeah, really. Even more so at 17. I used to go out armed to the teeth, dressed as a secretary, looking for muggers so I could kill them. They used to run. Big guys would run from me as soon as they got a look in my eyes. I never caught one. I have short legs. Okay, I am not the same as that now. What changed me? Interactions with other beings, experiences interactively. I made of everything I've ever read, encountered, seen, done, participated in. It's all changed me from who I was, 17-year-old homicidal maniac trying to kill muggers because it would be legal and I didn't want to go to jail. They started it, self-defense, to Lama Lena. All of it caused by interacting with life forms. We're not anywhere near as separate as you think we are. We are all. And the bugs in our guts and the bacteria on our skin, and the birds in the sky, and the fish in the sea, the squirrels in the trees, the pop. Gewa di. Whatever Gewa, this Gewa created by today, by our samaya, our interaction, the relationing that we have been doing. Nyurdudag. I offer out. Chi chi sala, as all Buddhas have done before me, as all Buddhas who will do after me. I offer it out. Gopashug. And so it is done. Gewa. Add Gewa to the pot. And I did want to say today, if any of you wish to sponsor a yogi or a child of a yogi or an old person practitioner, write me an email about it. Keep that email to one topic, a separate email from your email of your questions, because it processes differently and I have people helping me with that, and I don't necessarily want to show all your... Just send me an email. If you like today's teachings, the Donna button on the web page is working again. We had a glitch last week. We got it fixed. And I will see some of you next weekend for the inner mind roushen and a repeat of the pointing out. Other things that will be occurring, you will find on the calendar. Oh, and I would like to add, if any of you are students of my teacher, Wangdor Rinpoche, I have tsatsas. This is his teacher, Jangchu Dorji, his root guru. This is him, Wangdor Rinpoche. This is other magic stuff that he gave me. So I have these. Send an email to wangdorrinpochetatsa@gmail.com or to me and I'll forward it. If you want one of those. Yvonne is handling it because I make messes at post office. And we are complete for today. I'll see you all again soon.